Shalom, everyone. What's going on? Servant RD here. Kohaya, Kingdom of Heaven is at hand. Here with another video. This one is entitled Two Sides to the Story. We're witnessing events unfold right before our eyes. You have commentators and content creators on YouTube that's questioning what is really going on. You have people that's frustrated. And I have people hitting me up in my messenger. And some of them are just so frustrated. They distraught. They tired. Others are angry. And they at the edge where they want to retaliate with all of the monstrosities and obscenities that's going on in our culture and around the world. Brothers and sisters, there's two sides to the story. You have a people that understand that something happened in the heavens. We don't gaze at the stars much, but Yahshua told us to look up when we see things begin to come to pass. And he said, look up, for your redemption draws nigh. So we have always been a people that notice changes in the heavens. That's what Yahshua said. He told some of the Pharisees and the scribes and your amanuenses, he told them, when you look at the sky, you can tell what is about to occur as far as the weather is concerned. But can't you see the time? And so we need to understand, they have tried to block the visual evidence that's in the heavens. Various types of planets and various type of events in the cosmos have altered its course. And we see it. And what's happening in heaven is a manifestation of what's going on in the earth. So there are Gentiles. Some of them know what is going on. And we have some people in the Hebrew faith that have decided to label these people as Esau. I see that doctrine has traveled all over the place, not understanding that Esau met his demise a long time ago. Edom, that's recorded in Obadiah, was to be delivered into the hands of the heathen. Now, if the Gentiles that we know today as the white man, if these Hebrews label him as Esau, then who are the heathen? There aren't no other ethnic group that have the heathenistic trait more than these Gentiles. And so when you slow down and read the scripture and look at each word, you would soon discover that Edom would be handed into the hands of the heathen. And so the heathen are the ones that subdued Esau when they took their place. Because the heathen didn't have no origin. They had no foundation. They had no beginnings with the Most High. And so they have to write themselves and apply themselves in every culture of relevance. Since they did that, now they must suffer the judgment of those very cultures that they perpetrated themselves as. And this is what people need to understand. These people who are Gentiles, they are children of the fallen. The fallen angels that came down and had sex, made passionate love and unbridled and insatiable sex with the daughters of men. As it's written in Genesis the 6th chapter, and in the book of Enoch, I believe the 6th chapter. It is well recorded that some of these angels, once they got the taste of flesh of the daughters of men, something happened to them. They became insatiable. They couldn't get enough of their sexual acts. What they began to do was they have sex with these women. Some of the women died because they couldn't take such longevity of that act. Some of them had sex with women for almost 24 hours continually, as it's written in Enoch and in Genesis, how they devoured men. They just didn't devour them with consumption of the mouth. They devoured them with their insatiable appetite for sex. And the Father had to do something to them because they bear children. These children came out of these women contrary to nature. The Father said, I will destroy whom I have created. That's what Yahuwah said. Many of the children of these fallen found a place of refuge when the Father decided to destroy whom he created, because the ones that he created strayed away from his order. The ones that he didn't create it, but were the sons and daughters of these fallen, they were given the instructions to hide in the clefts of the rock. They were given instructions to go into caves to hide themselves as the Father rained judgment on the earth. Because after the flood, many years after the flood, you see that there were Nephilim that ran and walked the earth in far region. And so what we must understand is the Father has declared judgment, and these children of the fallen know, because the Father told those fallen angels, I'm going to destroy your sons and daughters. And so they see that there is no other alternative. When your back is against the wall, as we fast forward up to this time, and we see that the Father has numbered their kingdom and has weighed their acts in the balance, and they have come up wanting. Deep within their being, they know that there is judgment in the air. So with that reality is a proverbial backing against the wall, where no other alternative but to face the imminent chastisement and punishment that is so rightfully deserved. And so what happened is what they taught us. They taught us that the mind will respond to such situation. Some minds will take flight. Other minds will begin to fight. So one end of the coin, one side of the story, one end of the spectrum, you have Gentiles, where they have decided to fight. But others have decided to take a flight. The ones that have taken a flight, or the ones that's trying to take a knee, or the ones that's fighting in the streets, or the ones that pulling down monuments, or the ones that are trying to rectify the wrong that has been committed for so many centuries. All around the world, they protesting. Those are the ones that have decided to take a flight. But then you have the other that have decided to fight. So there you have those that are shooting, putting knee in neck. They know nothing else because St. John 10:10 say the thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and destroy. That's all they know. They have no soul. They soulless, spiritless. They are insentient. They have no feelings for none other but themselves. Those that have decided to fight. So no matter how hard you may plead, they get pleasure out of you pleading so they can inflict punishment. This is why you see young ladies with their top being removed, no bra, breast showing, and being tased by the police as they look on with lust-filled eyes, because they are the children of those that could not contain themselves. People need to understand where we are. Hebrews need to understand where we are. This is one end of the spectrum. So you have those that all they know to do is to fight, which is to kill, shoot down, because you have police that has been infiltrated. There's no longer a police force. You have race soldiers, men and women that are part of the children of the fallen that brought Esau to his demise, but have taken on the characteristics to hide themselves, just like they have taken on the badge and the uniform to hide themselves within that authoritative figure so they can continue to kill, because that's all they know what to do. That's all they know. They have no other alternative. Especially deep in a person, they understand that their demise has come. Joel, he said that I will sell your children. The father was speaking to the heathen. He was speaking to these people. And the father said, I will sell your children to Judah. This is why people all over the world are tearing stuff up, ripping stuff apart, running wild in the streets on the behalf of Judah, Yah's chosen and his elect. They're doing it because they have been ordered by the Shemaim, where our Father resides. The children of the heathen must be punished and must be sold into the hand of Judah. You can find that in Joel 3:8. And then he said that Judah would sell them to the Sabians, which are Sheba, which are nothing but Hamites. So Hamites going to get their chance to bring recompense to what have been done to them. This is what's happening on one end of the spectrum. The name of this message is Two Sides to the Story. I'm still on the side where we are witnessing the killings and the atrocities and the monstrosities that are happening right before our eyes. We must understand, Zion, this is what they are doing because it's been ordained and sanctioned, and they have no other choice. They can't bring salvation. They tried to bring us salvation with Christianity, and you see what has taken place. Christianity has failed our people. It produced nothing but docile individuals that have no boldness or backbone. There's only love for the oppressors. You have people still trying to redeem and breathe fresh air and fresh life, a breath into Christianity when the Father has brought it to its demise. Yeah, preachers still talking about being intercessors and casting out demons. Why don't you do this, preacher? Why don't you come on these fronts that we are witnessing and cast some of these demons? You got so much power. Cast them out of these heathen that are running rampant. Because that medium that you preachers all over the country and around the world trying to uphold is done. Those institutions of failure is over. You must understand that. Because it was established by those whom the Father has declared a judgment. We still on one side of the coin. One side of the story. We must understand, as it is written in Revelation 18:6, the Father say, give unto her double. That cannot be changed. It cannot be altered. It's immutable. It must take place. So we are witnessing the judgment that's coming upon these people. And some have decided to fight, while others have decided to take that flight. And that's what's going on their end of the spectrum. All those that have infiltrated the police force just to carry out the acts of terrorism on the chosen and the elect. The days have come to its conclusion. And so they decided we'll just go out fighting. We'll go down fighting. That's what's happening on that end of the spectrum. So their future is looking really, really, really bleak. Their future has come to the prophecy code of Joel 3:8 and Revelation 18:6. The other end of the spectrum, the flip side of that coin, are the Hebrews, where the Father has declared in Zechariah 13:8, where he said that 2/3 of Israel must come to their demise. 2/3 of his people must be cut off. The Father, he declared it. Read it for yourself. Zechariah 13:8. He said that 2/3. So when you see the shootings, when you see the knee, you see the hanging, 2 individuals in California were hanged in the same day. In one area, in this highly heathen residential area, was found a Hebrew hanging, dead. And not too far from that, they found another. Down in Atlanta, you see where a young man was sleeping in his car, intoxicated, which ended up with him being shot 3 times in the back. A tussle ensued, and he was shot. You have these people where the judgment has been declared on them. They're yelling, quit resisting and shooting. If you're going to make sense out of this, you must understand that the Father meant what he said. We can't stop his prophecies. The Father allowed 2/3 because we broke his heart. We still refuse to come to the Father and humble ourselves before him because we offended him. Hosea, the 3rd chapter, and I believe the 2nd verse, he said, you alone have I known, therefore I will punish you, Israel. We're being punished, and we continued as we look in Judges, the 2nd chapter, around the 6th and 8th verse. We wanted to so much be like the nations. The Father said, from this point on, I will not drive them out, but I will leave them there just so that you can understand that you are making a terrible, grave, fatal mistake in choosing them over me. We had a relationship with the Father. All the nations feared us, and we forsook him. We had the greatest privilege known to man, known to the Malachim, known to all the heavenly hosts in the cosmos, under earth and underneath the earth. We had the highest privilege known to all living beings. We were married to the Most High. Now do you see why our punishment is so severe? Now do you see, because we still don't want to believe in the Most High. We still talk about all kinds of atheistic ideologies. We don't want to believe in the Most High. We don't want to believe in His word. We make excuses. We say the white man wrote the word, the Bible. But yet still we obey other laws that were written by him. Not understanding he had no dealings with the Bible, what they call the Bible. It was written by us, the Hebrews. So you have the people that have decided to flight. I go back to the other end because I wanted to bring this out. They taking the knee. They still calling us black. They're going to have to acknowledge who we are. We Hebrews. We sons and daughters of the Most High. And they're going to come to that conclusion real soon. So the Father needs soldiers, and we all know there are only a small number of true devoted people in whatever the case and the cause may be. There's only a few people on your job that's willing to work and be productive. Everyone else, some shucking, some giving half, and some they just get away. There's only a few people that are superstars in some of the games that the Father has shut down. You have a lot of people on the football team, but there are only a few superstars. You have a lot of people that played basketball and baseball, but there are only a few. There are always a small number of people that are truly dedicated and keep whatever the action is functioning. There's no different than the Father's chosen people. There's only a very small remnant that's going to continue to persevere with their calling. And so what we are witnessing, brothers and sisters, we're witnessing the reducing down to that number. And there will be those that have chosen to follow the Father and the Lamb, my brother Messiah, wherever he goes. Guess what? The Father have chosen some of them to glorify him through death. We don't know who, but this how it is, because the wages of transgression against his law is death. That's why we experiencing death all over the region, because we as his sons and daughters, his representatives, his emissaries, were charged to give this message to the nations. We failed miserably. But there's only a small, very small remnant that's scratching their way back to the Father. Because we understand Uncle Peter told us, if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the unrighteous or the ungodly and sinner appear? So you have this end of the spectrum, the flip side of the coin, that explains why there's so much killing. We're not happy. I'm not happy. But the word already told us this would be so. So the Father has allowed his representative to reign with the Messiah. So what's next on the agenda as far as prophecy is concerned is a millennial reign. Yahshua will return and set up kingdom in this domain, and he will reign for 1,000 years. And all those that have decided to run by way of trying to help out, because one thing that happened with their parents, the fallen angels, when they created this offense against the Most High, but going into strange flesh, having sex with these young women, children of men, daughters of men. They had insatiable sex. Some of them were sexing the daughters of men out so that they died. It's been recorded that some were having sex for almost 24 hours straight. They just couldn't get enough. And if you read in Ezekiel would tell you about the whoredoms that went on. It's all written in scripture. And so when the Father was upset with these fallen that had the capacity to transform themselves in the earth, because the Father sent them down here to watch over his creation, the Father put a judgment on them. And they went to Enoch and asked Enoch, could you go to the Father and ask for forgiveness? And Enoch went to the Father, and the Father said, you don't supposed to come to me asking forgiveness on their behalf. I sent them to watch over you, not you watching over them. And guess what? The Father, he rearranged it, okay? Since y'all want man to watch over you, I will esteem them up to the status where they will judge angels. So you have the children of these fallen that's got the same mindset. So they trying their best to rectify the problem. They trying their best to find some type of position in the millennial reign. And that position will be servitude. The ones that decided to fight, they will meet complete demise and torment. This is where we are, brothers and sisters. This is the two sides to the story. The flip side. And so I pray that some form of edification and clarity is received, because this is the Father's doing and is marvelous in our eyes.